welcome. I'm Kerch and you're watching Head to Head with UATV. The scandal around the situation in the Azov Sea continues. Ukrainian sailors who are being illegally held captive in occupied Crimea are being tried in a Russian-controlled court. Just to remind you, this follows the incident where Russian forces attacked 3 Ukrainian vessels in the Azov Sea, subsequently seizing them and detaining their crew members. To clarify the legality of these actions and whether or not Russia has any right to try Ukrainian sailors, we welcome to the studio Khrystyna Lyudkevych, lawyer of Alliance of Legal Forces Company. Hello and thank you for being with us today.
Thank you.
So, Russia claims that these Ukrainian sailors crossed the border illegally, and this is the reason for their further detention and trial. So, how legitimate are these actions of Russia?
They are not only stopped, and they were wanted. And
yes, they were wanted. True.
Yes, they were wanted.
Some of them.
The crew and the ships were captured. And for now, we know that they are judged for 2 months because they crossed the border illegally.
Yes. This is Russia's version.
This is Russian version
of the latest event. Yes.
But we have the Ukrainian version, legal version that is proved by international law and treaties between Ukrainian and Russian Federation.
Mm-hmm. So, what is the Ukrainian version? As far as I understand, you're saying that Russia has breached several international documents in their action. Could you tell us what you mean?
So we have 2 main documents which regulated this situation. So the first one, international, is the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, 1982. And the second one is a treaty between Ukraine and Russian Federation
on the use of these waters in the Azov Sea, right?
Yeah, on cooperation in the use of Azov Sea and the Kerch Strait.
Mm-hmm. So what's in these documents? What is Russia breaching exactly?
So
what provisions?
The first one, the convention, we have the main means that all the vessels of the state, both coastal and landlocked, enjoy the right to peaceful passage through the territorial sea. And the second is that all ships and aircraft shall enjoy the right of transit passage, which should not be abstracted. Mm-hmm. I can read that peaceful passage and transit passage. And from the other side, we have, as I said, a treaty between Ukraine and Russian Federation. And the main story is that Ukraine has freedom of navigation in the Azov Sea and the Kerch Strait. Mm-hmm. So, if we have a free navigation, why did they stop us? Why did they fire us? Mm-hmm. So, if we understand for now, they don't follow any international law and agreements between Ukraine and Russian Federation.
So what to do now? What can we do about it?
For now, is the main idea is for Ukraine to seek ways for peaceful settlements of this dispute. Is the main, and
to de-escalate the situation,
and to get our sailors from Russia to home.
In your opinion, what are the chances to get these people back home? They were recognized as prisoners of war already by the Ukrainian government.
They are judged, and it's funny because they are judged. They couldn't be judged because they are prisoners of war, as you said. in accordance to Geneva Convention 1949. They couldn't be judged.
So this is another violation of international law, basically. How do you think? Well, obviously, this all is a game, and why did Russian authorities couldn't basically let Ukrainian vessels to go through the Kerch Strait?
I think it's there is economics here too
involved,
because not only their warships were stopped, another ships were stopped and waiting for some days there because the Kerch Strait was stopped at all. So I think it's politic, it's economic.
And probably they also were facing this reputational risk inside of the country, because inside of Russia it is very common that fear means power, and if you're not afraid of your authorities, it means that they don't have a power over you. And basically, if Russian authorities would let these Ukrainian vessels to go through the Kerch Strait, probably their people would just ask, how is this happening? Why does Ukraine grow its military presence in the Sea of Azov? Because we know that two more vessels have already gone through the Kerch Strait, and they successfully settled in Mariupol or Berdyansk. I don't remember which port exactly. But what further development what further steps could we expect from Russia?
Of course, they have to judge our sailors because they want to do it, and they want to show us again their power. So
we will now await for the final, until the last basically sentence, until the last trial decision. Well, I think that human rights organizations and all our international partners, they are shouting about this gross and blatant violation of international law and human rights also. How do you think Ukraine can counteract? You said that we have to seek for some peaceful settlement of the situation. Do we go into court, into some international courts?
Of course, after Russian, we have to go to the international courts, the first, and the second, we have to call international community to help us to do this.
Well, thank you so much for your comments and clarifying this issue for us, and thank you so much for being a guest today in our studio. That was Khrystyna Lyudkevych, lawyer of Alliance of Legal Forces Company. Thank you for watching Head to Head. I'm Ales Gardyuk. Goodbye.